All right, ever feel like you're missing the bigger picture? I mean, what if I told you the key to understanding, well, everything, from the French fries on your plate to the stars in the sky, is actually to think smaller, a lot smaller. Today, we're going to dive into a really cool idea based on the work of P. Frondorf that might just change how you see the world.
Yeah, we're always told to look up, right? To the stars for the big answers. But what if the biggest secrets of the universe aren't out there? What if they're right here? I'm talking about the spaces between things, at a scale so tiny it's hard to even imagine.
So check out this quote. There are fleas, fleas on fleas, etc. It sounds kind of weird, right? But it's actually a gateway to a totally mind-bending idea. The concept that reality is made up of all these nested worlds, one inside the other, and each one has its own set of rules. And get this? Understanding their rules is the key to understanding ours.
So, let's talk about these hidden worlds. Think about it this way. You're not just you. You're a walking, talking ecosystem. And inside that ecosystem, there are countless other worlds, each with its own story. Our whole journey here is about learning how to read those stories.
Okay, so what do we actually call this way of seeing things? It has a name, multi-scale thinking. It's really just the awareness that the rules of the game completely change depending on the scale you're playing on. And the crazy part? All these different games are happening at the exact same time, and they're all connected.
You know, to really get a handle on this, let's go on a little journey. We're going to zoom in on something you look at every single day, the back of your hand. I know, you think you know what it looks like, but trust me, you have never, ever seen it like this.
Okay, here we go. As we start to zoom in, the landscape of your skin just transforms. Suddenly, it's not skin anymore. It's this rugged terrain of mountains and valleys, with a whole forest of hair sprouting up. It's a brand new world, and believe me, we are just getting started.
All right, let's take another huge leap. Now we're down at the cellular level, and this is where things get really wild. You're not looking at a landscape anymore. Nope, you're looking at a bustling city of tiny living machines all working together to make you, you.
Okay, time for the final jump. Brace yourself. At this scale, we're in a totally alien world. Down here, gravity? It's barely a whisper. The real kings of this kingdom are these weird, powerful forces, quantum physics and electrostatics. It's all about the tiny pushes and pulls that literally hold our entire world together. Welcome, my friends, to the nano world.
So why all this talk about a tiny, invisible universe? Why is it suddenly so important? Well, because for the first time in human history, we can actually see it. And that changes absolutely everything.
So yeah, what did change? Why is the nano world such a big deal right now? It's a fantastic question. And the answer, really, is technology. I mean, for centuries, this world was just imaginary. But now, we have these incredible new tools that let us not only see it, but actually go in and play around.
I'm talking about tools so unbelievably precise, they can feel their way across a surface, mapping it out atom by single atom. We can literally pick up individual atoms and move them around like they're tiny Legos. And by doing that, we've discovered something huge. The rules of physics we know and love, they just don't apply down here.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. You ever wonder why skinny fries are crispy and thick-cut fries are fluffy? Well, the exact same principle explains why a big chunk of iron is perfectly safe, but a cloud of nano-sized iron particles can be explosive. It's all about surface area. When you get this small, there's just so much more outside compared to inside. The rules of the game don't just bend, they completely break.
So, with this new superpower, this ability to see the unseen, we've basically become atomic detectives. We're cracking cases that are billions of years old, piecing together the story of our universe one single atom at a time. And the crime scenes? Oh, they're everywhere, from the dust on your shelf to meteorites falling from space.
All right, let's look at our first case file. This one takes us way back. I'm talking before our sun was even born. Scientists are analyzing these tiny, tiny grains of dust that are actually older than our whole solar system. This is not science fiction, people. This is like a real-life journey to the beginning of everything.
So, what are they finding? Inside meteorites, they've found these microscopic particles they call star smoke. It's literally the ash from long-dead stars. And here's the kicker. This is the stuff our world is made of. It's what we're made of. It's cosmic history, small enough to study in a lab. Okay, case number 2 is a little closer to home. In fact, it's probably in your pocket or on your desk right now. The device you're watching this on is a monument to the power of the nano world. And the future of tech? You know, computers that think like brains, money that's just digital, all of that is being built literally one atom at a time.
You have to hear this. Scientists have figured out how to get atoms to build things by themselves. It's called self-assembly. They just create the perfect conditions, and then, poof, the atoms snap together into these intricate patterns, creating the tiny building blocks for the next generation of ridiculously fast computers.
Wow. Okay, so we've gone from the back of a hand all the way down to the heart of an atom. Now, let's pull all the way back out. I mean, all the way. Not just in space, but in time. Let's see how this whole multi-scale perspective changes what we think we know about our place in the universe.
And this really puts things into perspective. According to astrophysicists like Ward and Brownlee, planets like ours, with all this complex life, are incredibly rare. And our time on this one? It's limited. The window for complex life on Earth is about 1 billion years long, and we're already halfway through.
500 million. That's the number of years we probably have left for complex life on this planet. When you think on that timescale, a lot of our daily problems and short-term goals start to feel pretty small, don't they? It really forces you to think about the long game. What kind of future are we actually building?
So what's the point of all this? Where do we go from here? How does having this new multi-scale perspective actually change how we live our lives and plan for what's next?
Here's the big takeaway from this whole journey. To solve our biggest challenges, we have to learn to think bigger and smaller than we ever have before. We need to get small and understand the nano world. We need to use zoomable calendars that think in terms of next week and the next million years. It's about respecting how everything is connected, from our bodies to the gene pool to the entire culture.
And that leads us to one last, truly mind-bending idea. What if our final frontier isn't just out there, but also in here? What if the key to exploring the vastness of the Milky Way isn't about building bigger rockets, but building smaller ones? What if the path of the stars begins at the scale of a single atom?
I mean, could we one day engineer tiny, self-replicating probes, Milky Way nanites, and send them out in swarms to explore the galaxy? It's a huge, wild idea, for sure, but it perfectly connects the start of our journey in the nano world with the ultimate frontier. It really leaves you wondering, what other secrets are out there, just waiting for us to discover them, if we can just learn to see the world at every single scale? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.